Hi, everybody. We're so glad you're hanging out this afternoon with us. I know. I've been driving y'all crazy today, but look at me clearing this computer up. I'm just so excited. My guest that came over this morning, one of them was an IT kind of girl, and she helped me out so much. But I don't want to take another moment away from our special guest. We're going to talk about LifeWaves today. And this is Linda Harwood, and she's an RN, and her husband, Dr. Harwood, he's an internist, and they have found that the LifeWave patch has worked very well with helping their patients better their life and their health care. So, with that being said, I did not get a bio from Miss Linda. I'm just going to let her go ahead and tell you a little bit about her background and how they came to find LifeWave and what it's meant to them.
All right. Hi.
Hi.
I am an RN of 30 years, and my husband an internal medicine doctor, and he's been in practice for about 40 years now. And so when somebody pulls a product like this that's non-medical and says, or non-pharmaceutical, and says, this is going to do all of these wonderful things, we kind of go, yeah, right. So we actually utilized this product for over a year before we would really start talking to people about it. We had our own little test groups going on. We wanted to know, does this really work? Is this not a placebo? Is this going to work for a little bit and then not work? Where were all of the things with it? But we just kept seeing positive after positive after positive results. And with that, we decided that, how can we incorporate this in to help more people? Because then once you know that it works, you feel bad about not telling people about it. Because if we can help people get better, feel better, look younger through something that doesn't put medication into your body, why not?
Absolutely.
So my husband, when he would go into his office, his patients started coming in and they would say, Dr. Harwood, what are you doing? They were saying that his skin looked better, that his coloration was better, he moved more fluid. They just said he generally just looked healthier. And he would scratch his head in the beginning, and then he got to thinking, you know what? The only thing I've done is LifeWave. So he would start talking to his patients about, LifeWave only when they talk to him, though. But that's getting more common and more common. And we know that when people are excited about something, that's when they want to know about it. And so he just talks to him 4 or 5 minutes because he's, doing his doctor thing, and hands him a business card. They call me and they're so excited. That's what's so exciting about LifeWave. These people call and they're going, I went and saw your husband today, and oh my gosh, let me tell you what I think. And they start just saying all of these incredible things about him. And they're like, I want this. I want to feel that way. I want to look that way. How do I do it?
Awesome. Well, we're excited about what we've seen. Or I'm just going to put it this way, because I'm more faithful with them than the other half of the Welches, which I'm trying to get him to become more faithful with them. I'm like, dude, you take 4 shots a day. Could you not stick on 2 patches in the morning and peel them off at night? I'm just, we'll let that lay there because everybody's got a spouse. But I wore them for probably a year, about 6 months. And then I got super, super sick, which all of my audience knows. And it was almost life or death at the end for me before the Lord kind of snapped me back. And I would have worn my patches, but honestly, I couldn't get enough fluid in me that with knowing how much I need to drink and sustain them, that when I tried to wear it, I felt too dehydrated. So I was kind of just managing life at the moment. But as soon as I got to where I was back to drinking 3 to 4 glasses of water, or I put my patches on. And let me tell you, never in my life did I dream. I guess I was healthy enough. I didn't notice it, kind of like you said, your husband didn't that first 4 to 6 months. But after that event, I now can dramatically tell when I wear them and when I don't. My energy level is by far exceeding what it did you know, I'm back to more normal me before I got sick. So they absolutely made a difference in how I recovered and how I could actually go all day and not have to have 10 naps, just maybe 2. And now when I wear them, those are the days I don't nap. Like I was up late on Saturday night and early on Sunday morning, and I wore my patches, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to really need a nap Sunday afternoon because the dog woke me up with the storms and, was shaking and freaking out. And y'all, I couldn't even nap, literally. And that's huge for me on Sunday afternoon. So my patches have made all the difference in my system. And what I want you to do, Linda, is could you please go into detail about what makes them work?
Yes. Yeah. All right. So all they are is a small little patch. They're this size. So it's not like we're asking you to put something like this on your body. And you place it most generally on the C7, which is at the back of your neck, or 4 finger widths below your belly button. And the reason we say that is because that's where the clinical trials were done. So that's what all the literature is going to show. The patch itself is actually a systemic patch, meaning you can place this patch anywhere on your body and it's going to do the same thing for you. It is by photobiomodulation. We just shorten it to phototherapy. So therefore, the light waves of your body, all of the radiation and stuff that we have emitting from our body is what activates this patch. If people are sensitive to adhesives, like if they can't wear a Band-Aid, then they're probably not going to be able to wear the patch. However, you never have to stick the patch to your body. If it's within 3 inches of your body, it's activated. So therefore, if people have some severe allergies to adhesive, or if we have a lot of workers, like I deal with a lot of landscape guys, and they are sweating. And at that point, sometimes the patches don't stick. We just have them take them and stick them in their pocket. They don't even have to take the backing off of them. They're going to activate. They're going to work the same way. So therefore, anybody can wear the patch no matter what your allergies or anything are. So what happens when this patch activates is it doesn't necessarily do anything with your stem cells. What it's doing is it actually elevates a copper peptide called GHKCU. And if anybody wants to go on PubMed and look up GHKCU, it's amazing what this copper peptide can do. They're putting it into a lot of formulas for skincare and different things nowadays. But we're actually elevating what you have in your body. So we're not putting anything else in there. It's the light frequency. It starts elevating this. When you're in your 20s, it's at a level of about 200. When we're in our 60s, it goes down to about 20 or 80. So therefore, it's on a line like this. You're going down. Your stem cells mimic that same path. So they're directly correlated with your copper peptide. So when we start this copper peptide to be re-elevated, it starts to re-stimulate our stem cells. At the age of 35, 50% of our stem cells have went dormant. At the age of 60, 90% of them have went dormant. And you can only imagine what happens after that. So when we start elevating this copper peptide, it starts regenerating these stem cells, but it doesn't regenerate them down here where they're not functioning well. It regenerates them at a younger level because that's where we're bringing this copper peptide level up to. And that's where you start seeing the age reversal happen. So you start seeing your aches and pains go away, your sleep patterns get better, your vision. We've seen so many people that their vision is starting to get better. We call them side benefits on a lot of men, mostly, but some women too. It helps with their hair growth and their coloration starts to come back into their hair. Just all kinds of things. Your wound healing increases. So you start speeding up things that when we're younger, if we get injured, we pop right back. When we're 50, 60, 70, that pop doesn't happen. So this actually starts regenerating that to where our stem cells are acting like they're that younger age. So then our body starts to act like it's younger. So therefore we see that reverse in aging.
Awesome. Well, I know we had talked about the specific ones. And when I was digging over here, I was actually trying to find a picture of one of the patches, but this is kind of a mimic of what the patch would look like that she held up. And I don't have anything other than this one brochure right right here next to me. I meant to get my other stuff. I do have the little booklet here, but there are a variety of different patches, and there is a baseline of which ones you want and you want to start with, and then there's specific ones for specific needs. Now, I know with my traveling and things, X39 is always every day on the list. The glutathione is usually 5 to 7 days off and on. I'll do, if I want to be a little greedy and stingy with them, I just do them every other day. That's kind of how I keep my glutathione in my system. But when I'm traveling, I wear them every day. I put those on me for, to help keep anything that might be in the air away from me, or in the water, or, anything like that. So I watch my words carefully. We're on YouTube. So that's what I do with mine. Would you like to go into some detail about the different patches and what people would want to, pick each one and how they want to try those out?
Sure, I could do a few of them.
Go right ahead.
Because we always want to give you the tree before we give you the forest, and so our tree is the X39 because it is the one that is actually the stem cell stimulating patch. It came out in 2019. The company actually started in 2004, so it's been a long-term company and it's very stable. And the inventor, David Schmidt, he has worked through all of these patches, and he's came up with this X39, which actually is the one that started stimulating your stem cells. And so it's an overall patch, and that's the first patch that we like people to start with. And we always tell them if they'll give that patch 30 to 90 days before you add anything else on, for two reasons. For one reason, that patch is going to start your body into helping itself regenerate and start to be able to heal itself. Because remember, our patches, they're non-medical. They're a medical device, so we do not diagnose, treat, cure, prevent, or mitigate any disease. All we're doing is elevating that copper peptide to start restimulating those stem cells and letting the body then take care of itself, because the body will never harm itself. So when you start with that X39, it gives you a base of what is it going to do? What is your body going to be able to do without adding anything else on? And coming medical, we hate polypharmacy. Even though most people think that medical personnel want to just throw all these meds at you. We really hate polypharmacy. And so I feel the same way with the patches. If I can start you out on the one patch, get your story. What is that patch doing for you? What did you see? Because it's going to do a lot of things if you give it just a little amount of time to work with it. Then once you have that story, what did it do for you? Then you can add other things on. So the second patch that we see a lot of people add is the glutathione. And the glutathione patch it's an antioxidant. So it's your general immune system booster. And like you were saying, when you utilize the glutathione, sometimes you're not utilizing it on a daily basis. My husband and I, kind of like you, were, what's the most effect we can get with, the least amount of money. And so what we do with our glutathione is we wear them 24 hours. So he wears his 24 hours one day, and the next day I know when I'm taking his off, I put mine on and I wear it for 24 hours. And then when I take mine off and throw it away, I bring a new one and put on him. So we just alternate them every other day. So we're getting them 3 to 4 days a week, wearing them for the 24 hours. And our glutathione levels are staying where they need to stay. The glutathione itself, though, what's so impressive about this patch is that a lot of people will take a glutathione supplement because, it helps with your muscles and different things. A lot of your bodybuilders want glutathione. So when they're taking it, though, they're taking large amounts of supplements by mouth. One thing is every time it hits your gut, it's dying. So very little glutathione is getting through your system. So they're taking these large doses. They're getting very little into their system. After a month of taking high quality glutathione by mouth, they may get a 20 to 30% raise, sometimes a 50. Our patches, they've done studies that once they place that patch on you within 24 hours, they're getting a 2 to 400% raise. So cost effective wise, you're getting so much more with this patch than you are with a pill that most of it's dying in your stomach. Plus, we're not having to ingest it. We don't feel full. We don't have all of the side effects of anything going on with how it's packaged or anything else like that. So that's why the glutathione patch is very, very important.
I was fixing to say that one was my win for it. I was taking so many supplements already. It was like, okay, one less by my mouth. And it got really hard to find about 2 years ago.
Yes.
So, yes, but I didn't know I could wear it for 24 hours. So you just taught me something, girl.
I know the instructions are going to tell you 12, but I'm just giving you like a little insider tip there.
Thank you.
Then the X49, it is one of the newest patches that came out, and it came out in 2021 is when it actually was released to the public. And it is kind of a sister patch off of X39. We call X39 our mother patch. So X49 is the only other one that will actually elevate or regenerate a stem cell. So when we're talking the X39, we're talking GHKCU, which actually is a full body. It's going to go anywhere you need it, systemic wise. When we talk about the X49, it's an AHKCU. So it is a different copper peptide. And this copper peptide is more specific. So it's going to be mind, heart, so cardio, and muscle. And that's where it kind of circulates into. So we see a lot when we add that on to the X39, then you're going to see that your recovery time from workouts even get better, because the X39 is already doing this, but you add that X49 and it gets better. And what my husband saw, he's 67 and he had worked out forever. He gets up at 3:20 in the morning to do this. I know he's a little crazy, but exactly. So he gets up to work out and he was at the same. He had been the same for years and never been able to increase his weights, always the same when he was running, or he's doing an ascent climber now and never could increase. But once he started the X49 on top of the 39, about every quarter, he just adds 10 more pounds on. And his time on the ascent climber, he's just going stronger and faster, and he's not sweating as much. He's coming off of it. He's not exerted. He comes up the stairs. He says he's never been sore. He's not stiff. And he was very stiff with all of his gait and stuff. He's very fluid now. And the X49 has added that component into his workouts. It also helps with your telomeres. We've got telomeres in our brain, and you take in your length of your telomere is kind of tied to your longevity. And we get telomeres in the beginning of our life, and then they start shortening. And we have to, the shorter they get, the closer we are to not existing. And so what the X49 is doing, along with a product called carnosine, which is another one of our patches, it is keeping our telomeres from expanding or from decreasing. So therefore, it's kind of stopping and keeping them there. They're doing studies with the 49 to see if it's lengthening, but I haven't seen those results yet. So I'm not going to make any claims there. But it is something that is really looking into the future. I know that when they came out with X49, they were talking about building kind of a Faraday cage around yourself, or Faraday cage. So it's blocking all of the 4Gs and the 5Gs that are coming at you. And so I haven't seen the completed studies of that, but they were showing great progress. I have seen some people show where if they've got a phone on, that their muscle strength goes away, but when they pull that away, put an X49 on and you hold it out and put that phone up against you, then their strength is holding. So, it's getting closer that we can start saying that, but it's something that to keep into the back of your mind that, is this going to help protect me from everything the world is throwing at me, because who knows what's out there now. So that's kind of moving us into the carnosine patch, which the carnosine does a lot of the same things, but it helps with tissue repair and damage. So if you, have that organ that's not doing so well, put it on there, let it help it out. Eyesight, we're seeing a lot of times you can put your carnosines up by your eye if you're having any difficulties with your eyes. And people are going to their optometrist and different things, and they're like, your eyesight is getting better. That has been for my husband and I both. Of course, the doctor we're going to is like, well, as you get older, your eyesight gets better. And I was like, I've never heard that before. But anyway, because you can only lead a horse to the trough. They're not going to drink if they don't want to.
Yeah, because
So, but
like if one jab works, three will be even better.
exactly. Why not have the sixth one? But and so some of the other patches, Eon is probably one of my favorite products, and it's not a stem cell stimulating patch, but if you have inflammation in your body, they have proven on scans that you put the Eon on and it will pull out that inflammation, on your infrared scans and stuff within
Wow.
a 10-minute period.
Wow.
And so I've had people come into meetings and they brought their dogs of all things with them, and their pup will be a little anxious and whatever. And I'm like, hey, let's just patch him, and we'll put an Eon on, and that little doggy will just calm right down.
Oh my gosh.
So
Seriously?
yeah, the patches, they do work on animals. They don't say they do, but we like to kind of every now and then throw one on our dogs and different things like that. We kind of tell people using the X39, once you're done with it, take it off, put it on the inside of your dog's collar. What's it going to hurt? Because it will actually activate and do the same type of things to your dog that the patch is doing to you.
Wow.
So yeah, the Eon is a great one if you've got an ache or pain. Sometimes when you get up and you can't move your neck because it hurts and it's shooting pain, I've taken Eon and put on and just like immediately start moving my neck with no problems. If I've got heel pain to the point that you're trying to walk and it hurts, I slap an Eon on. Immediately you can start walking across the floor. So it is one of my favorites to have. Then we've got the two that were the first generation patches, and that's LifeWave and the energy enhancer. So LifeWave is the other pain patch that they like to talk about. And so LifeWave is a 2-patch system, and it's got a brown patch and a white patch. And they always say white on the right and brown on the left, unless you're using it to where you're going to put the brown directly on the spot of pain and kind of do a clock method around. But this is one that works on a frequency, and once you find the right frequency, it just zaps your pain. It is one that I say this is more of your Band-Aid. That's why 49 or 39 and 49, they're the ones that's going to help your body learn to treat and heal itself, where the other ones are kind of your little Band-Aids that we utilize along to help those two out. Energy enhancer, it's also a 2-patch system. This was the very first patch that came out, and David Schmidt actually made this for Navy SEALs, and it was to keep their energy up so that they could go for long periods of time and not lose their level of where they're at. And so it's an amazing patch. We see it used on a lot of our runners, our marathon runners, our Ironmen. You'll see this a lot in sports. I know that Serena Williams, every now and then, if her little sleeve things come down, you'll see the patches on her arms. Those are energy enhancer patches. I know Michael Phelps, they used them on their swim teams when they were in the Olympics, because again, all of our products can be used with any of your athletes. They're not going to test anything in your body because we're putting nothing into your body. It's all light therapy. And then we have a sleep patch, which is called Silent Night, and it enhances your sleep. Now, I've never used Silent Night. I was not a sleeper, neither was my husband. But with the use of the X39, it has increased our sleep patterns to the point that we don't need the Silent Night. And there's just so many different things that each of the patches can do for so many people. Everybody just keeps trying them in different places, and what they keep coming up with is amazing. LifeWave, one of the things on it, I'll have sinus issues. And again, my husband, he's the guy that wants to dig into everything. And so one night he was having sinus issues, and I said, just put an LifeWave here and here, right there on your sinuses, and it's going to help you breathe. And he put them on, and he goes to bed extremely early, since he's getting up at 3:20. So I go and take care of the dog so that he doesn't interrupt him. And but I could hear him scurrying, and so I went in there and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he has got his cell phone out, and he is like just intensely looking at this. And I said, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "I put these things on, and within minutes," he said, "I could breathe. I wasn't having any issues, and I need to know why." And so he was, again, digging directly into it, and he needed to know right then why, because he wasn't going to sleep all night unless he could figure out why it was. So there's just, like I said, there's just so many amazing things that the products can do. Again, we're not treating or diagnosing or anything like that, but the patches are helping our body to learn to treat itself, to heal itself without the use of medication.
And had it not been for the environment and what we ingest through our mouth, we probably could, regenerate a little bit by ourselves. But over the last probably 200 to 300 years, maybe 1,000, it's gotten to where we don't do as well with having the rotation of crops every 6 or 7 years and getting all the minerals we should get, and not having, preservatives and pesticides and all the things that we have on our stuff now. So our body could use all the help it can get. And for anybody that's finding this in my audience, I chose to do separate videos instead of trying to do infomercials on all of our stuff. And it's because when you hear me speak a little bit about some things, some of you have questions, especially if you're new to our audience, and I can refer you to these videos and they will help educate you just like they're educating me, because I am a girl that has allergies and issues, and I have found more natural ways to help me with that. But this is just another layer, and it's not something I have to swallow or ingest. And so, is it something I want to try? Heck yeah, when I look cute with looking like a football player with my patches stuck on my face. But it makes me wonder, some of you that have some migraine issues, maybe this would be something, if you have chronic headaches, that you might could try just to see if they would help with the relief of that or the symptoms, and see, if you could have some, things go better with those. Not that it will, but hey, it's worth a shot if you suffer like some of my friends do with those. There was a question I had during all that, and I guess I should do like I tell my audience, write it down so you don't forget it, because that was an overload of information, and it was great information. I do know that you had told me that that your husband, the doctor, Dr. Harwood, would be able to come on with us sometime, since he studied some of these things. Maybe we could set it up to where, the way I have done some of my videos on instructional things, people that don't know what they don't know, that they have a fear. And so maybe we could break it down. You kind of give us an overall little, synopsis of the 3949, glutathione, all that. Maybe we could break it down and pick like 2 or 3 and take a good 30 minutes or so and actually dive into those products, and maybe even get testimonials from people, or some that have come back with y'all that you've tried, that patients have give you testimonies. Would that be something y'all would be willing to do with us?
Yes. Yeah. The more that we can, like I said, the more people we can help without pharmacy, the better off we feel the world will be.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, because God gave us everything we need. Sometimes we just need to help it work better because of what we've put in it to destroy it. I won't use the word poison, but for some reason that just is ringing in my head. So I'll throw that out there. For anybody that wants more information, my email is here below. We would be happy to get you information. The company is having a few glitches on my website at this moment for just connecting you straight to the website. Besides, we like to have a little bit of, personal contact. This is a personal business, and we've got a great team to help you with that. Miss Linda's part of our team. Her husband's part of our team. Miss Charlotte's a part of our team, and she's amazing. I'm just going to put that out there. So if you're watching, Miss Charlotte, you're amazing. You put up with me. You've got to be. So we will get you information. We will help you, with, if you want to place an order as the customer. If you decide you want to get them at wholesale, we'll help you with that, because there's different ways you can do that. And we're just excited about what results we're seeing from something that is so non-invasive and doesn't expect us to have stomach acid to, break it down and then see if our system actually accepts it from ingesting it and it does what it's supposed to do. So anything else you want to throw out there, Miss Linda?
Not really. Like I said, we always tell people that, the question we get is, who can't use this patch? And we always tell you that if you have a stem cell in your body, and you're breathing, you can utilize this patch. And we all just want one thing in life, because we figured out when we got older what we wanted to do, and that was to be younger. And so this is our path to doing that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I do have one quick question.
Uh-huh.
I have a friend that has had to have some emergency surgery on their, I think C3, C5. Anyway,
Mhm.
fine. And I know that they are going through an extensive recovery process right now. What would you suggest that with them still being in the hospital and transferring to a rehab facility, since this is a fairly new surgery, what would you suggest that they could incorporate that wouldn't have any issues and would be okay for them to add to their regimen?
What I would suggest on that, and we have seen it happen in some of our rehab hospitals, they're starting to let, the patients utilize the patches. They're not letting it be written because they're not medical, but if the patients themselves can manage that 12 hours on and off, or a family member, then we've seen them start to utilize them. But I would recommend the X39 and the Eon patch. Neither one of them right on the place of surgery, but they can put them near it, and that will help pull the inflammation and also help that copper peptide to start regeneration of the stem cells for the healing process.
Awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate you so much. And we look forward to you coming back and visiting with us and helping everybody in the community that has any questions at any point. And I haven't seen any pop up. So everybody must have been like me, just being a sponge and absorbing it all. But thank you for your time. And we look forward to seeing you again. All right.
All right. Thank you.
You bet. Bye bye.